When starting Cult of the Lamb, one thing I did not expect is I would be clearing up so much poo. But this wasn't the only thing that I found quite surprising, and I mean this in a good way about Cult of the Lamb. So let's dive into this roguelike game with base management. This is my review on Cult of the Lamb, so let's have a look. Let's start with the story. So the description is, you start your own cult in a land of false prophets, venturing out into diverse and mysterious regions to build a loyal community of woodland followers and spread your word to become the one true cult. So the story of Cult of the Lamb, it reveals in a very, very cryptic way. There are no long cutscenes or big introductions to the story. Instead, you are given small snippets of information as you play the game by different characters and different people that you meet within the game. You will not find massive lore pages or huge discussions for that matter. The bits you get are very short and they're very cryptic in what they're trying to tell you, which fits in with the overall aesthetic and feel of the game. The characters themselves are not voice acted. Instead of voice acting, what you have is you hear like similar to the Sims style mumbles where they're just mumbling away. Your aim is to build a cult, and your cult is in devotion to a deity, and that is the first main premise of what Cult of the Lamb is about. You will gather followers, you will build on them, and you will build up a cult to your one deity. You will be faced against many denizens from the other gods, and you have to battle through them and slowly go around and free your own deity themselves through building up your cult, gathering more followers, getting them to pray to you. Well, I think they're meant to be praying to your deity, but honestly, I prefer the narrative that they're praying for me, and then performing rituals, all in dedication and glory to the one true deity. But did I like the story? Honestly, I found the story was a bit of a backseat, if I'm honest, compared to the other mechanics and the gameplay, which was building up your cult in this sort of base management game and wanting to see it expand. I began to feel attached to my members and my own little lamb themselves. However, I never really felt attached to my own deity, the one that I'm meant to be praying to. I was preferring to set my own narrative that all my followers were praying to me. I enjoyed the mini side quests that were made within my cult, accusing each other of being heretics, trying to help romances blossom, or even develop some of my own romances. It's not that the story is bad, not at all, just the cult building and the management is just so damn good in this game that the story takes that back seat. Then when we add in that we may have an engagement that may or not be for you. For those of you who stream, specifically on Twitch, the game has an integration with the streaming platform, allowing your viewers to become the followers in your cult through a voting system, contribute to your totem, which in turn can help supply you with new followers and resources. Additionally, the chat can vote to help or hinder you, helping alleviate some of your cult caretaking duties, or alternatively, they'll make it rain poo. So moving on to the gameplay, and it is best said now, Cult of the Lamb is best played with a controller. Doesn't mean you can't do it with a keyboard, but it is just recommended to use a controller for this experience. With that, playing with your innocent little lamb is similar to many other roguelike games and 2D hack and slash games that you will find out there. Being able to use a basic attack on one button, using your special abilities and movement controls using the sticks as you might expect from a controller, or WASD if you're using the mouse and keyboard. The movement, it feels fluid and it feels fast. The weapons, they feel responsive to your actions, as does dodging, and you will need to dodge a lot. Combat is the main focus, as with any roguelike. You'll encounter a good variety of different mobs, all with different attacks, range, melee, explosives, some that are quite slow to use, some that are super fast like daggers, all have different tactics to take down and avoid being hit. I found that the game got easier as I played it, as you start to understand the enemy types you face and how best to actually then dispose of them. Even still, I died a fair few times in Cult of the Lamb. It's not a game that's a walk in the park, but also it's not like a Soulsborne game. You can take a fair few hits before dying with the ability to find more hearts or armor. In saying that, it's also not as difficult as a lot of roguelike games I have played. It's very approachable and I would say very beginner friendly to the roguelike genre. You get to face some fairly unique bosses, each felt their own, again with their own set of abilities. A lot of these, they felt like they were taken from their lesser kin that you've been facing and you've been fighting up to that point, but turn it up to 11. And to be honest, I quite like this. It meant I already had some practice at these styles of mechanics at what the bosses would be throwing at me from fighting their lesser known kin, just having to put my newfound ways of fighting and dodging to the real test of each area. I found the difficulty of the bosses out of order slightly, where the third and fourth bosses I found were actually more difficult than the bosses towards the end of the game, hence it sort of got easier throughout my gameplay. However, this could have just been my own experience. Some people I'm sure will find the opposite to be true here. Outside of combat, a big part of Cult of the Lamb is its base quest management and civ management. Build and grow that cult of yours, starting with your first follower. Build them places to sleep with materials that you gather through your runs and the different stages. You'll need things like wood and stone. Cook for them to keep them happy. Gain experience from them to level up and unlock new abilities and new items to build. Perform rituals to mold your cult, with these rituals providing choices of how your cult will act. Unlocking new rituals to, say, resurrect your members, or maybe put a banquet on and feed them. These choices, when they're given to you, can actually be really game defining. Do you give your followers bonus for each good food that they eat, or do you remove the negative bonuses for eating something like grass? Both have their pros and helps to decide how you wish to run your cult. Do you celebrate the death of a follower who died of old age, or will your followers get penalties for getting older but get bonuses for being younger? Think of these choices the same as choosing policies in a lot of city building games or management games. Cult of the Lamb takes a light approach on this sort of civ building management style though. It's not overly complex, but nor does it feel stale. It sort of hit that very sweet spot. My best advice on the building aspect is, no matter how many outhouses you build, your followers will still poop on the grass. You can probably see it from the footage that you see in the background here, but Cult of the Lamb uses a hand-drawn and absolutely beautiful art style, using a mixture of desaturated tones layered with tones of higher saturation and bright colours to make areas, characters, enemies, and the environment really pop out to the player. Being a hand-drawn art style, Cult of the Lamb is in a 2D format, but the movement is across all axes. The animations only then complement that beautiful art style. I'm sure that being a 2D game and being more of the hand-drawn minimalistic aesthetic can be off-putting for some, but I do implore you to look past this, as it certainly grows on you and shines further in its gameplay. The game takes place in a large forest, with you choosing paths to the final stage of each run, whilst returning to your cult in the forest clearing to build, cook, be praised, and perform your rituals. The different environments all feel unique enough but still within a forest, and they all look absolutely beautiful. The different enemies you face, they all have a unique look to them, and some of them look cute, if not trying to kill you. Your cult members will come and talk to you, they will cheer you on, they will get angry with you, all with beautiful drawn expressions. You can tell at a glance if your followers are sick, if they're angry, or if they're happy. Being able to then talk and tend to their needs. Performing rituals with your cult delivers a small animated sequence which, honestly, it never got old. With a variety of these different animations over the use of reused assets or animations, there's been a lot of detail in all aspects of Cult of the Lamb, even from a visual standpoint. I didn't encounter any drops in frames, bugs, or weird effects happening during my playthrough, and nor have I heard of many other, if anyone, having problems suggesting that they might exist. Visually, I fell in love with Cult of the Lamb. Everything about it looks beautiful, and it's complemented by an absolutely amazing sound design. It's a pure joy on so many senses, and the music for this game, the music is absolutely amazing. And here's a sample of it. So overall, Cult of the Lamb is yet another small indie developed game that just hits straight in the mark for what a lot of people are looking for. Strong gameplay, good visuals, no microtransactions or predatory monetization. A dev team that understands their audience and has made a game for them. If you're a fan of the roguelike games, I would really recommend Cult of the Lamb to you. You won't find it the most challenging in the genre that you would have played before, but it will make you fall in love with its world and with your cult, obviously. It'd also be a great entry point for players looking to get into the roguelike games without jumping straight into more hardcore titles. I can see some people being put off by its art style being more of a 2D hand-drawn style. However, to those I would say, please give this game a try. Usually, I would be in your same boat. However, Cult of the Lamb has completely won me over in this regard. It grows on you. Have you played Cult of the Lamb? What did you think of it, and would you recommend it? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comments below. If you're looking for more videos from me, why not try having a look at everything we know so far about Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. You are absolutely awesome. Any support is greatly appreciated. But until next time, I'll see you soon.